Email etiquette quiz. Test your knowledge on how to communicate effectively and professionally through email. Let's get started. You're writing an email to a new client for the first time. How should you begin your email? A. Hey, client's name. B. Hello, client's name. C. Here, client's name. D. Dear, client's name. Correct answer is option D, dear, client's name. Using dear is a formal and respectful way to start an email when addressing a new client. You need to send a large file to your colleague, but the email attachment size limit is exceeded. What should you do? A. Split the file into multiple smaller emails. B. Use a file sharing service and include the link in your email. C. Compress the file into a zip format. D. Ignore the file and send the email without it. Correct answer is B. Use a file sharing service and include the link in your email. File sharing services ensure that your colleague receives the file without cluttering their inbox. You receive an email with an attachment that you were not expecting. What should you do? A. Open the attachment immediately to see what it is. B. Delete the email. C. Respond to the sender to confirm the attachment before opening it. D. Forward the email to IT support. Correct answer is C. Respond to the sender to confirm the attachment before opening it. Explanation: it's important to verify unexpected attachments to avoid security risks. You realize that you've made a typo in the email you just sent. What should you do? A. Ignore it, it's not a big deal. B. Send a follow-up email with the correction. C. Apologize for the typo and resend the entire email. D. Recall the email. Correct answer is B. Send a follow-up email with the correction. Explanation: a quick follow-up email can correct minor errors without causing confusion. How should you address the subject line in a professional email? A. Make it as short as possible, 1 or 2 words. B. Use a catchy phrase to grab attention. C. Be clear and concise, summarizing the content of the email. D. Leave it blank, the content is more important. Correct answer is C. Be clear and concise, summarizing the content of the email. Explanation: a clear and concise subject line helps the recipient understand the purpose of the email at a glance. When should you use the reply all function in an email thread? A. Always, so everyone stays in the loop. B. Only if your response is relevant to all recipients. C. Never, it's unnecessary. D. When you're unsure who should see your response. Correct answer is B. Only if your response is relevant to all recipients. Explanation is use reply all sparingly to avoid overwhelming others with irrelevant information. You're writing a follow-up email and want to remind the recipient politely. How should you phrase it? A. Just a quick reminder. B. Hey, why haven't you responded? C. Following up on my previous email. D. Did you forget about this? Correct answer is C. Following up on my previous email. Explanation: a polite reminder shows respect for the recipient's time and acknowledges that they may be busy. You want to schedule a meeting with a colleague and have several available time slots. What is the best way to convey this in your email? A. Let me know when you're free. B. We need to meet ASAP. C. I am available on Monday at 10 a.m., Wednesday at 2 p.m., or Thursday at 9 a.m. Please let me know which time works best for you. D. Can we meet sometime next week? Correct answer is C. I am available on Monday at 10 a.m., Wednesday at 2 p.m., or Thursday at 9 a.m. Please let me know which time works best for you. Explanation: providing specific time options makes it easier for the recipient to choose and schedule the meeting efficiently. You need to send an email to multiple recipients who do not know each other. How should you address the recipients to protect their privacy? A. List all email addresses in the To field. B. List all email addresses in the CC field. C. List all email addresses in the BCC field. D. Send separate emails to each recipient. Correct answer is C. List all email addresses in the BCC field. Explanation: using BCC hides the email addresses from other recipients, protecting their privacy and preventing unwanted replies to all. You are replying to an email that included several questions, and you want to ensure clarity in your responses. What is the best approach? A. Write a long paragraph addressing all points. B. Answer only the first question. C. Use bullet points or numbered lists to address each question separately. D. Tell the sender to call you instead. Correct answer is C. Use bullet points or numbered lists to address each question separately. Explanation: organizing responses with bullet points or numbers enhances readability and ensures that each question is clearly and thoroughly addressed. You are composing a professional email late at night. What should you consider before sending it? A. Send it immediately. Timing doesn't matter. B. Save it as a draft and send it during regular business hours. C. Schedule it to send early in the morning. D. Wait for the recipient to email you first. Correct answer is C. Schedule it to send early in the morning. Explanation: scheduling emails to arrive during regular business hours is considerate and maintains professional boundaries. You receive a rude or confrontational email from a coworker. How should you respond? A. Reply with similar tone to defend yourself. B. Ignore the email completely. C. Take time to compose a calm and professional response addressing the issues. D. Forward the email to other coworkers to vent. Correct answer is C. Take time to compose a calm and professional response addressing the issues. Explanation: responding calmly and professionally helps de-escalate the situation and maintains a respectful work environment. You frequently correspond with international clients across different time zones. How can you make your emails more effective? A. Use local slang and idioms to seem friendly. B. Write lengthy emails to cover all details. C. Use clear and simple language, and be mindful of time differences when expecting responses. D. Expect immediate responses regardless of time zone differences. Correct answer is C. Use clear and simple language, and be mindful of time differences when expecting responses. Explanation: clear language ensures understanding across language barriers, and respecting time zones shows consideration for your international clients' schedules. You want to add some emphasis to a point in your email. Which formatting is most appropriate? A. Write the point in all caps. B. Use bold or italics to highlight the point. C. Use multiple exclamation marks. D. Change the font to a bright color. Correct answer is B. Use bold or italics to highlight the point. Explanation: using bold or italics adds appropriate emphasis without appearing unprofessional or aggressive. Before sending an important email, what final step should you take to ensure professionalism? A. Run a spell check and proofread for errors. B. Add some jokes to make it lighthearted. C. Send it without reviewing to save time. D. Change the font to something decorative. Correct answer is A. Run a spell check and proofread for errors. Explanation: proofreading helps eliminate typos and errors, ensuring that your message is clear and maintains a professional image. Great job completing the email etiquette quiz. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, proper email etiquette is essential for effective and respectful communication. Share your score in the comments below and let us know which questions you found most helpful. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more engaging and informative content.